All right, guys, here I am at day 2, 2019 Travel Adventure Show. Samantha, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. I'll start first. I know you were commenting on it before. What is it like to be here back in D.C.?
Oh, I love it. We come here every year just for the show, but I'm probably here in DC 2 to 3 times more a year. So it's a city that I come to a lot and always enjoy. No matter what the season, it's always a little more mild here than where I'm from. Great people, and just there's always something happening. So it's always great to come back to DC.
Right, awesome. And being that it is, a lot of expos are only are sometimes a week long, and this show, unfortunately, you don't really have that luxury. It's only a couple of days long.
Yeah.
Does that kind of limit the things that you're able to do, or do you try to make a point to come earlier?
It does limit, absolutely, and what further limits is that I always bring my children.
Okay.
And I have young kids. I have 6-year-old twins, and we've been bringing them here since they were 2, and we always do the Smithsonian. We love to head down to the Air and Space and the natural history, and we do the mall. So we've basically done the same kind of area for many years because it's easy. I can manage it with kids. But again, there's so much to do, and even after, oh my gosh, 4 years of coming here with my kids, they still want to do the exact same thing every time, and that is get astronaut ice cream.
Of course. So all right. So jumping right into the show, there so many elements that have changed. I guess you can say in the world of tourism and how various things in the world politically and just in general out in the world have changed tourism. Are there any particular trends that you've noticed that are current right now that perhaps were not like obstacles or challenges for tourists like maybe a few years ago?
But are now obstacles and
Yeah.
challenges? That's an interesting question. I feel like one of the biggest challenges we have now in travel is that there's a lot of us. There are a lot of people traveling. A lot of people can afford it, and it's just not Americans. It's parts of the world coming into more of a middle class that allows people to travel.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the first time people really get money, that's what they want to do. They want to travel because it really does reinforce our sense of self. Hey, we can go to the Great Wall of China. We can be in Paris. And so that is a huge obstacle as the world now is traveling en masse. And so I feel one of the ways to alleviate that is to go to lesser known destinations, because really any place is travelable.
Yes.
Any place gives you a travel experience. And certainly being in Washington, D.C., you're one of the top destinations in the world. So you must feel that as well, when it just feels like the city can't hold any more people.
Summertime, sure.
Yeah, and you're like, how can this, and you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere, and you
No.
can't do the things you want to do. And so I think for those of us in the travel industry, we are trying to use our influence to spread it out a little more. So for places to love, one place we went to this year was Baltimore, Maryland. Very close to DC, has amazing history, phenomenal museums, a great food scene, and it's a lot less expensive and less crowded than Washington, D.C. So You're not going to lose out on anything, and it's just going to spread the love a little more. So.
Well, it's funny you should say that. One thing that I've noticed is that outside of one thing that I've had a conversation with the State Department is the fact that more I'm brain farting on what they are, but the documentation that's needed, like more being issued these days than before. So one other facet that I've found interesting, generationally, is the aspect of social media and how that's I feel it's played a role in that. Have you noticed that as well, like with Instagram, Facebook, and all that stuff, where it's very much a catalyst with what you were saying with the influx of and an increase in tourism that's being
And
seen.
I feel like everything we wanted to do, because I started, this job when there wasn't social media and the internet was sort of just beginning.
Yes.
And it's been incredible to see how it totally affects your trip. And I would say most of it totally positive. There are always a few negatives. One, we're not really experiencing anything. We're thinking about how can I picture this and put it on Instagram, right? We're more concerned about how our friends are perceiving our, fear of missing out than just, hey, just have the experience.
fun, right.
But just have fun. But I love the way that social media absolutely connects you. So one of my favorite websites that I used recently in Hong Kong is a Facebook. It's called meetup.com.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
I'm
really
really familiar.
yeah, and so it's really for locals to kind of meet up with people who are like them, but travelers can absolutely use it. So if you go to Hong Kong, you can do the Meetup hiking group, and you can join Hong Kongers on their hikes. And so
Like
whatever,
friends from Meetup.
yeah,
Yep.
so whatever, great just hobbies that you have, and just maybe a certain group that you really associate yourself with, you can find that on Meetup and in another city, and people just welcome you with open arms. So I think that's
Gotcha.
just those things. It connects you with people that you would never have met without social media.
All
So.
right, awesome. And lastly, one thing that's also, I feel like it's come to the forefront now because of digital media with Netflix and things of that nature is dark tourism. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but it deals with like the aspect of things that are really far off the beaten path, but they're still interesting. So like one thing that people they do as tourism is, and they actually have the show too. I'm actually indirectly plugging it, but not intentionally. But they have things like with Louisiana vampirism, like they do all types of like things and weird things that are like off the beaten path. Right. So with what you have with your show, just to close, like have there been any things that you wanted to do off the beaten path, but you still felt wasn't really within the confines of what you do with your show?
No, not really. In fact, if it's like outsider, we would love that. I like going beyond sort of the beaten path to experience real people. What we would do, the only thing that kind of takes us from doing a segment and not is if it's accessible to everybody.
Okay.
So if it's just something that you have to kind of, I always say we're not a documentary about travel.
Yeah.
We're a travel show about, kind of, so if it was just so exclusive that no one would really have access and it's just me kind of reporting on it,
Yeah.
we wouldn't do it. So that would be the one thing. But if it was interesting and it really brought people together and gave someone an idea of more of the soul of a place,
Yes.
I love that. That is absolutely what we would look for in doing.
All right, awesome, Samantha. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right, well, there you guys have it. 2019 Travel Adventure Show. I'll see you soon.